And here we are. Good morning. Back again. The snow is back again. The cold is back again. The heat in the house is back again. But it's all about the yoga today. I'm actually going to fix my computer so maybe there's a little less of it visible to you. There we are. That's a bit better. I am Karen coming to you from Sultan Sand Studios in Vermont. Today is project day. Yoga as a project. So every project you have an intention, right? You're going to do something. And you gather your materials and tools, which for me today is my computer, my mat, my microphone, my clock, and my cushion. And then you have a beginning of the project, a middle of the project, maybe sometimes where you get a little frustrated or things aren't going the way you thought they might, and then you have an end, and you take a step back and you look at what you have accomplished. And I think that's such a perfect analogy for yoga. Today we're actually going to begin in child's pose, which is a favorite for many, although some struggle because their knees don't quite work that way. So if that is the case, you can always fold over your mat, and you can place a rolled up blanket or a hoodie or a cushion behind your thighs. So you're going to draw nice and long. Connect the head to something. Could be a pillow, could be your mat. Take a huge breath in and release it. Take two more of those, a nice loud sigh outward. Sitting bones, move toward the heels. Side bodies are nice and long. Rock your head a little left and a little right, and let it settle. Come onto your finger tops, so you're lifting your arms off the mat. Let's take a little walk forward with your fingers. And now see if you can send your tailbone backward and down a little bit more. Then you can go ahead and rest your forearms back on the mat. Big breath in and release. Bring to mind your intention for today's practice. It could be, I'm going to stay with my breath, or I'm going to observe when I have negative thoughts that I am thinking. Or I am going to be very, very aware and observant of where my body is in space. Now place the palms together. The pinky fingers are on the mat, the thumbs are toward the sky. Drop your head once again. Bend your elbows so the hands come behind your neck, or maybe the fingers between your shoulder blades. Keeping the belly drawn in a little bit, draw the sitting bones toward the heels, and slowly, one at a time, walk your elbows forward till they can't go any farther. And settle back in. Now you might feel a little opening under the arms, maybe the backs of the upper arms. Maybe feel a little bit more active in your belly. Beautiful. We're going to draw the palms to the earth. And we're going to come up to kneeling. We're going to bring the knees a little closer together, and we're going to kneel upward. This might be plenty. You might start feeling this stretch all along the quads and the hip flexors already, but you might not. So if you're not feeling quite a stretch, or maybe you could use a little bit more, you're going to go ahead and place the low hands at the low part of your back, right where it meets the flesh. And we're going to press the flesh down, shift the hips forward, and that might be plenty. You might start to feel it now, which I certainly do. We're going to lift the torso and the heart, Squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can drop your head back if that feels okay. If you have more space to work with, press the flesh down, send the pelvis forward, lengthen your torso, lift your heart, squeeze the shoulder blades, feel the throat open up. And gently draw the shoulders over the hips, sit back down. I'm gonna take a little helicopter move, just a little twist, flopping the arms around. And find your way to a seat. I'm gonna sit back on my cushion, the cush. You know, if you have super tight hamstrings or really, really tight hips, especially if you have tight hips and the knees are coming way above the hips, you might place blocks or blankets or cushions or something underneath your thighs, and that allows things to relax a little bit rather than your sort of natural intuitive ego kind of grabbing the knees up because it's afraid that you're gonna hurt yourself. So from our seats now, we're going to drop the hands to the earth, shrug the shoulders up, breath in, send them behind you, release them. 2 more times. And 3. So we're in the beginning of our project. We've done our intention, we had gathered our tools, and now we're kind of organizing stuff, maybe finding our design, feeling things out, trying out some of the tools and materials, and seeing where things go, just observation. We're going to now lift the arms outward. If your shoulders are shrugged up by your ears, see if you can settle them down and send the palms facing upward. Now we're going to start to rotate the shoulders and find an awareness of all the piece parts that are moving together. So we're going to go ahead and send the palms down and then behind us. Send the palms facing up. Feel the movement. Feel the triceps, not just the shoulders. You might feel just to the outside of the ribs on either side, and palms down and back. Palms up. One more time. Down and back. And up. This time we'll send the palms down. We'll start to take some small circles forward, taking our time. The slower we go, the more we gain. And backward, pretty small. Now we'll go forward, medium-sized circles. That might mean something different to you than it does to me. That's totally cool. And backward. And now big circles, take your time, forward. And reverse. Beautiful. Now we're going to float the arms up overhead. Twinkle the fingers toward the sky, get really tall. On a breath out, hands draw together at your heart. Drop the hands in the lap, drop the chin. We're going to take circles with the neck and the head. And you might observe that one side feels tighter than the other. Although we often perceive that the body is symmetrical, it actually is not, especially over time, based on whatever we're doing by habit. Circles opposite direction. So when my partner is doing Lego, yes, as an adult, he does Lego, and it's really cool stuff. And drop the chin again, lift the chin. He does this thing called knolling, which is named after a woman whose last name I believe was Knoll, who set all the pieces out in order. All of these same pieces, then these same pieces, then these same pieces, then these same pieces. She wasn't doing Lego, she was doing something else. So I can't remember if she was an engineer or an architect or what. Okay, turn your head over your right shoulder. This is sort of our knolling, our kind of figuring out all the piece parts, exploring them, understanding them. And turn your head to the other side. And turn your head to the front. Hands by your sides, sweep them high. Cactus shape arms, really squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the heart like you're lighting the sky on fire, even if you're in snowy Vermont. And we're going to take eagle arms. The right elbow comes under the left. One wrap or two, doesn't matter. Elbows lift. Get long in the torso. Soften the toes, the calves, the knees. And as you exhale, scoop the belly in, drop the elbows down, and drop your head. So you're rounding your spine, creating more real estate along your back, up and down, left and right. As we rise up, we sweep the arms out and up overhead. Once again, pinkies face one another. Let the shoulder blades draw together so the shoulders drop a little away from the ear. Your belly shouldn't be like just hanging out on its own. You should be drawing it slightly in from the top of the pelvis upward. Cactus shape arms once again. Fingers like you mean it. And then eagle arms, left elbow under the belly and round your spine. Drop your elbows toward your navel. As you come up, take a twist to the right. Left hand on your right thigh. The right arm peels open like a wing. Gaze is toward the right thumb, and you move your eyeballs that way. That helps activate the vagus nerve. As you come forward, the right arm crosses over the left. And you see if you can sit up straight. I look like I'm tilting a little bit. There we go. And now we're going to twist to the other side. Eyeballs drawing over toward the left as far back as you can get them. And come forward, cross the left over the right, and we sit up nice and tall. Let me bring a smile to our face. Come back to your intention here. Moving further into our project, we're going to come to a tabletop. I need to remove my socks first. And you can find any organic movement that feels good for you here. Cats and cows, something else. Hip circles. Imagine you have a hula hoop and you're making hula hoop shapes. Wherever you are, make sure you're using the real estate of your hands and especially the pads of the fingers, that the tops of the feet are on the ground if they can be, and you're utilizing that, kind of pressing a little into the earth. Okay, for a little balance, we find a steady, sturdy, straight back. Actually, let's find a little calf opening first. We're going to shoot the right leg long. The ball of the foot is on the mat. And then go ahead and really super press the heel away from you. If you like, you can keep pressing in and out of the toes to find a rock if that feels better. And now we'll move into balance. Shoulders over the wrists. Keep the hips square. Float your right leg off the mat. Remain here, pressing the heel away from you. And the top of the left foot should be connected to the earth. You're squeezing the right glutes. You're strong in the left glutes. If you like to challenge your balance, the left arm will float in front. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Left hand returns to the mat. We're going to take a little peek over the left shoulder and sweep the right leg over the left calf. You're going to place the shoelace side of that foot onto the ground and then glide the front of the the front of the right hip back to the left heel. You can draw your forearms, create a little real estate between your shoulder blades. If this is plenty for your left glutes, great. If you have more space to work with, you can tuck those toes under, the right toes, and send the knee off the mat and the heel farther away. Rise back up, three-legged tabletop. The knee draws toward the right elbow and you scoop the belly in, drop the head, press the floor away. Inhale, extend, and exhale, knee down to the mat. We're going to take a little interstitial here. That's like a little in-between thingy. So I'm going to bring the hands backward and come closer to sort of sitting on my heels, but I'm not quite. Place the backs of the hands onto the ground, not too far from your knees, and the fingers point toward your knees. This might be plenty as you work to press the back of the fingers and the back of the hands to the earth, or you might find that rocking forward and backward feels good. But just check the orientation of the fingers, making sure they're not awkwardly spaced, or that the wrist bend is not out to the side. We're going to flip the palms back to the mat. Maybe the fingers point out, or maybe they're sort of more like pointing to your knees, and we'll do the same thing. I recommend you check in on the thumbs here, that they're not too far away from the index fingers. That can hurt the thumb joint and the tendon. All right, that's our interstitial. Come back to your full tabletop, your cats and cows, or some other thing. And then we lengthen the left leg, ball of the foot on the ground, press into the heel, opening up the Achilles heel and the calf. Maybe a rock and roll here. The shoulders will come over the wrist. The left leg floats. Really square up those hips. Use the belly. Press the right shin and the top of the foot into the earth. Left heel reaches away. If you like, right arm in front. Right hand to the earth, a little peek over the right shoulder. Sweep the left leg over the right calf as far to the side of the mat as you can get. And then go ahead and scoot the hips backwards so the front of the left hip is close to the right heel. This is not pigeon. It's a different shape, and it is meant to open up the gluteus medius, the gluteus maximus, and the gluteus minius. Minius? That sounds right. As always, you can tuck the left toes under, float the knee, send the heel away from you. It'd be funny if you're like, we're watching some, historical Roman movie and someone's name was Gluteus Minimus. All right, we come back, three-legged tabletop. Knee draws toward the left elbow, round the spine, press away from the earth, extend the knee, and return the knee to the mat. Cat-cows, child's pose, something else that works for you. I have thoroughly warmed up. Now we move into the middle part of our project. So we've gathered our tools, we've created an intention, we've organized ourselves, we know what the design is, we have a sense for where we want to head. We walk the hands forward just a couple of inches, tuck your toes under. We're going to hover the knees for a moment before we go into down dog, drawing the sitting bones back toward the heels, and then stretching the legs, maybe pedaling out here, but only if that feels right for you. Remember that your down dog is the same length as your plank. Settle into your down dog for 3 breaths. You can always take this as a tabletop. Except for the next part, which is to rise onto your tiptoes, drop your heels all the way to the left so you're more on the outside of the left foot and the inside of the right. Rise back to the tiptoes, heels go over to the right. Rise back to the tiptoes, peel forward, high plank. Exhale straight to down dog. Heel forward, high plank. Belly in, super strong. Exhale, down dog. One more time. Heel forward, high plank. Exhale, downward dog. Breath in and out. Rise to the tiptoes. Bend the knees a lot. The belly is coming close to the thighs. Look past your hands and take a walk to them. Or a hop, or a skip, or a jump. Forward fold, Uttanasana. No noggins needed. Let the head hang like the neck is a bungee cord. If you like a bind, you might take a rag doll and a little sway. Release your bind. Find a halfway lift. Hands might be on the ground, the shins or the thighs, not the knees. You might need a little bend in your knees to draw the belly in and the shoulders back. It's a nice long spine. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, hips lift. Again, slight bend in the knees, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Draw the neck long and the collarbones wide. Breathe in. And exhale, forward fold. Once more for the audience in the back. Halfway lift. I think they say those in the rafters. Exhale, forward fold. Press yourself to standing mountain pose. Hands will be by your sides. Picture your favorite mountain or hill. Some people prefer a hill covered in grass. Picture the season, your favorite season. And what happens to the mountain in that season? Is it covered with green, mosses and trees? Is it covered with flowers? Is the peak replete with snow? Is the sun just behind the mountain? Steady and sturdy and yet slightly movable. Arms float up high. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Drop your arms, reach them high. Exhale, hands at your heart. Once more, arms drop, reach them high. We remain there for a moment, getting nice and long, and then drop the right hand by your side. Reach, reach, reach. Fingers down, fingers up. Yeah, get really tall. Feel those shoulders. Feel the belly drawing in. Sturdiness in your feet. Pressing into the big toe mounds. We take a tilt over to the right. For me, it's the door I came in. So you want to feel almost like we're stretching the right side, the squish, more squish side, as much as the left side. Doesn't mean you're way up here, but certainly you have that energetic lift on both sides. But we are really opening up the left rib cage, front, side, and back. And we breathe. Both arms up. Stay for a breath out. Inhale. Left hand drops. Reach, reach, reach. Fingers down, fingers up. This is the middle part of our project, the standing part. We tilt over to the opposite side. Arms lift up overhead, cactus-shaped arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades. If your hips just shifted way forward, stack them. You might need slightly soft knees for this. And drop your hands behind you. Interlace the fingers or hook them or stack your hands. Draw the knuckles toward the earth. Your front body should have lifted. Your belly should be in. Maybe we shouldn't be saying should. You're aiming, your energy is moving the belly in and up. Chair pose, bound, modified. Feet can stay wide. Imagine you have something between your thighs, like a ball or a block. Well, for me, it's like being at physical therapy. And you're squeezing that so that the thigh energy is moving toward one another. And they're kind of spinning toward each other. Energy is more in your heels than the balls of your feet. And the tailbone is a little bit tucked. We breathe. We see if we can find a little balance. Your choice by rising up to both feet or maybe lifting one foot off the mat. Rising up to both feet, rising up to both balls of your feet. See if you can maintain your back bend. Once your heels come down, we're going to find a forward fold, maintaining the bind. Nod your head, shake your head, open and close your jaw, breathe in, exhale, hands to the mat. We take another half lift. Exhale, forward fold. We step the left foot way to the back of the mat for a runner's lunge. Set yourself up for success here. This is like pulling all the parts together and nailing them or gluing them or whatever the heck it is your project is. Maybe your project is a flower bed. This is getting everything in place for the beauty that comes later. Belly energy in, shoulder energy toward your hips. Beautiful. We're going to extend the front leg and fold over it. Breathe out. Pause for a full round of breath. Inhale, bend the knee over the ankle. Exhale, tap the back knee and then straighten it. Next, exhale, lengthen your front leg, fold over it. Inhale, come forward, runner's lunge. Tap the back knee. Lengthen the leg. Really lengthen it. Next time, last time, extend your front leg, fold. Pause if you can peel onto the heel of that foot so all the other parts of the foot are off. We come forward, runner's lunge. So this time we tap the knee down, untuck the left toes, left hand down for a twist. Your arm, right arm could be up in the sky or behind you in a half bind, or maybe the heel of the hand is on your hip or your low back. Mostly you want your right knee, this is where you want to focus, right over your right ankle and your big toe mound actually pressing to the earth. Belly is twisting, not the shoulders. I extended my back leg a little bit just to get a little more opening on the front of my left hip. All right, both hands to the earth. We're going to rise up for an Anjaneyasana. So place your hands on your right thigh and lift your heart. You could stay here, or if you're like a deeper back bend, hands by the sides. You can also place your hands overhead, your choice. So we're feeling an opening here, front of the left hip. We're squeezing the left glutes, pressure on the right heel, and we're also tucking the tailbone using the glutes. Half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. Aiming for a long straight back. It doesn't matter how deep you get. Toes toward your torso. If you need blocks under your hands or cushions, grab them carefully. We're going to move into the strongest structure, which is a pyramid shape. So for pyramid pose, we need to scoot the right foot back. That's hard for me to do on this mat. We're going to tuck the back toes under and extend both legs. And then hop your back foot up and out a little bit, such that both feet are all the way on the earth and your hips are squared up. If you need help squaring up your hips, you're going to lift halfway. Check for hip square. Usually you have to move the right hip back, and then we take a fold and release the hands. Parsvottanasana. If the front knee needs a little bend, no biggie. You can take that, draw the belly in and up. Step forward, forward fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. I had a new student last night and I said that was my favorite Sanskrit word was Utkatasana, but then we did Ardha Hanumanasana, which is your half split, and she said that was her favorite word. Ardha, half or half, Hanumanasana, Hanuman, which is that kind of monkey-looking god. We rise up to stand. We bring the hands to the hips. We step the left foot to the back of the mat and face the long edge. I can see today that I'm opposite on my image. All right, we're gonna keep the toes in and the heels out. Hands on your hips, fold halfway down. So you're kind of pressing into the mat to lengthen the legs and lift the hips. Breathe in, exhale, fold all the way over your legs. You might spin the hands around so the fingers face the opposite way and walk them between your heels. Not just your fingers, but your hands. Hands come in front. You're going to place the left fingertips on the mat under your nose. Heel of the right hand on your low back and lift halfway up. If your knees are locked, soften them a little bit. Draw the belly in. Nice long spine. Exhale forward, twist to the right. Exhale, right fingertips on the mat below your nose. Take all those shenanigans to the other side. We lift halfway, long, long spine. And we twist on the exhale. Navel orbits the spine. Exhale, hands to the mat. We're going to take a different twist. So we're going to bring the heels and, the feet a little closer together. So they're about shoulder distance. This time we place the fingertips on the mat, left fingertips on the mat under the nose again, but we bend the left knee. We keep the right leg straight. Heel of the right hand on the low back, lift halfway up. We're opening up the IT band on the right leg. So we're going to twist again. So it's basically the same movement, but the legs are closer together. There's a little bend in your left knee, and your right leg is as extended as possible. If you don't feel anything here, you can move your feet closer together. You can make sure you're twisting from the belly. You can extend your left leg, all 1, 2, or all 3. You're working into the outer edge of that right foot and to the heel. And we come down, we take it to the other side. Left leg extends, right fingertips on the mat, bend your right knee, lift halfway up, hand behind you, and twist. And we come down to the mat. Checking time. We're gonna walk to the front of the mat, step the left foot forward and the right foot back for our runner's lunge. Nice and long here. Set yourself up. Shoulders back, heart forward, collarbone smiling. Super powered up in that back leg. Extend your left leg, fold. Breathe in, heart forward, runner's lunge. Tap your back knee. Extend your back leg. And again, lengthen the front leg, fold over it. Inhale, heart forward, runner's lunge, shoulders toward your hips. Back knee taps. Extend once again. Runner's lunge. And into our fold. This time, we peel all of the left foot off the mat except the heel. Runner's lunge, tap the back knee, untuck your toes, and we take a twist. Right hand down, left arm high, or the left hand could be on your hip or your lower back. And we twist on the breath out. Check in with the left knee, ensure it is pointing straight up. Left hand down. Set yourself up for balanced success. We're going to rise up, hands on your left thigh. Nice stretch along the right quad and the psoas, the hip flexor. If you like a deeper back bend, hands by your sides or overhead. The more you press into the shoelace side of the right foot, the back foot, and the heel of the left foot, the more of an opening you're going to get on the right side. Glutes are active, tailbone a little tucked, so we take it out in the low back. And a half split Ardha Hanumanasana. Ardha, half, Hanumanasana. I don't remember what Hanumanasana is the god of. And we move into pyramid pose. Scooting the left foot onto the ground, lifting the legs, shortening the stance, square up the hips, and fold. We step forward, forward fold, taking a half lift into a forward fold, rise to standing. Our last stand, Custard's last stand. Exhale, forward fold. It cannot be the end of custard. I love custard, especially British custard. Halfway lift. I know you care a lot about that. Exhale, forward fold. And we step back to a high plank. Return to downward dog. Peel forward, high plank. Remaining in the high plank, we cross the right ankle behind the left ankle and come back to a downward dog. Sort of bound foot downward dog. Peel forward, high plank. Switch the cross of your ankles. Keep that belly strong. Downward dog. Inhale, plank. Uncross your legs, tabletop. Beautiful. We're going to move into our deepest heart opener here of the class. So you might take a little cat and cow or a little sway or sachet of your hips. Not the kind of sachet you put into your nightie drawer. I don't call them nighties. And your hips are over your knees. We walk the hands forward like a puppy, keeping the hips nice and high, allowing the forehead, the chin, or the chest to come to the earth. Shoulders can get kind of grumpy, cantankerous here. So that might mean you bring the elbows and bend them outward and touch the first fingers or the thumbs. The goal here is that the heart, I like to think about it as not that there's a lot of green grass on the ground, but the heart chakra is green. That's the color associated with it. And grass is green. Many plants have green on them. So you're working to make your green heart part of the green of Mother Nature. Maybe working is the wrong, is a less appropriate verb than relaxing your heart green to meld in with nature's green. We relax in between the shoulder blades. Maybe the elbows bend out even more. Maybe you have so much space that you can get your chin on the ground instead of your forehead. You're going to tuck the tailbone, walk the hands back and find your way into child's pose. This time if it works for you, bring your knees together. I like to call this a rabbit pose, but it's Balasana 1, child's pose 1. Arms are long next to your legs and the top of your head or crown of your head is on the ground. Loosen the shoulders and the arms. Let the breath roll and ride up and down the spine, and left and right across your low back. All right, rise up, come to your seat. We're going to do a couple of leg twist, couple of leg stretches, and then we'll move into pigeon as we're starting to come to the close of the project. Left leg extends, right knee bends. We lift tall, right hand behind us, and exhale for a twist to the right. Reach the left heel forward and the left toes back toward you. Come forward, drop the right knee out to the right, sit up tall, and find a fold over your left leg. Again, it doesn't matter how close your heart or your nose gets to your shin. I say shin. Lift back up, other way for your twist. Right leg long, sit up tall. Twist on your breath out. Left shoulder away from your ears. Or your left ear anyway. It is already away from your right ear. Front and center, left knee drops out to the left. We find a fold over the right leg. We rise up, shifting onto the left hip. Swing the right leg behind you. You might find a back bend before you work into pigeon. If you need something under your left hip, take it. It's better that it's not super far away from the ground. We'll stay in child's pose. In pigeon pose, child pigeon, pigeonette. We'll breathe here for 5. Shifting onto the left hip, we swing the right leg around in a bend and flow gently, so close to the end of our project here. Lift your heart, and I want to make sure we have time to observe, be aware of the outcome of our project. Pigeon pose. 5. Hands return underneath the shoulders, shifting onto our right hip. We swing the left leg around, soles of both feet on the mat. So you can come down to the mat, straight back or rounded, your choice, but you might like to try a little core work. Taking your time, going as slowly as you can, and reaching your heart past your knees. Happy baby. Maybe with a little rock left and right to massage up the low back. And as I want to spend a little bit of time on reflection, we're going to go right into our Shavasana posture. Space between the feet, space between the arms and the side bodies. Or if you need to sit, you can sit maybe even against a wall. Big breath in. And a complete breath out. We allow the breath to now come effortlessly. And take a moment to observe the outcome of your yoga asana project. The tools, not just the mat, or the clock, or the blocks, or the cushion, the blanket, but the tools of breath, of heart-mind, of body. You've set your intention. You've given kindness and self-care to you. And the beauty of this project might not be readily evident. But in practicing the intention, the breath work, the asana, the poses, the movement, you've built merit. And that is merit that, like the flame of a single candle, can be used to lit thousands of other candles, and that original candle remains a light. Passion, warmth, purity, kindness. If you'd like to establish a dedication for the practice, feel free to do so. And let the breath deepen. So you can find a little movement and return back to a seat. Any way that feels right for you. And in your seat, maybe bring a smile to your face. Drop your hands by your sides. Reach them out and up overhead. Press them together there. Reach the fingertips to the sky, the sitting bones connected to the earth. Breathe in. Breathe out, hands to your heart. Beautiful. Return to your intention, and if you have a dedication, consider that. And we'll send the merit, we'll share the merit of this practice outward. We'll share the kindness, perhaps as we walk away from our mats and into the world today, tonight, tomorrow, next week, bringing kindness to others. Let's take a cleansing breath before we chant Om. And as always, you might imagine Om just writing out on your breath if you would prefer not to chant in whatever space you're in. So we're going to breathe in fully and then out and then take our Om. Deep, deep breath in. Thumb knuckles connect right at the center of your forehead. Thank you for joining me for this yoga class as project today. I hope that helps you find a way to take off the mat and into the world what makes the most sense for you to share. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, weekend. If you're here with me live, if you are watching a recording, whatever comes next, enjoy it. Great to be with you. Hope to see you soon.